so much for coming in. I do have yours starred as well. Marby is saying hi to everybody. Oh, it's so good. Kim B, hi. Do you have a question? You can go ahead and put it in the chat. We're going to jump right into questions as soon as the time comes. And Pure Joy LN, love ya. Thank you so much for coming in. Mary Hernandez, any messages for my higher good? That is Kim B coming in strong. Emily, hello, sweetie. I've got yours as well. Under a lot of stress. Man, I know. We can blame it on Saturn, Neptune. That's how I get my anxiety out. I yell at the stars. Say, how is everyone? Had a hard week? Emily has. Anyone else? I've had one of those when life goes so fast that I just go blank and I can't really do anything but eat chocolate and watch YouTube. That's what I've been doing. A lot of YouTube. Bora Bora, hello. I know I'm early and so the room is filling up. That's great. Again, if you have questions, please put them in the chat early because we are not going to be able to dawdle. And Amy Harris, nice to see you, my dear. This is great. So yeah, the energies have been really odd and off. And I think that's just our new normal. What do you think? I think it's our new normal and we are adjusting to it. And some of us eat chocolate and do too much YouTube. And some of us jump into action and ride the wave of energy. Pure Joy LN, I've been bringing on YouTube way too much. I don't know if I would say way too much because that's part of how we rest our brain. Now, I procrastinate about writing and justify procrastinating. I don't know why, because I really love to do it. And I turn on the YouTube on writing, all these experts telling everybody how to write and everything. I think I'm doing research. This is good. This is what I'm busy doing research. Carolyn Booker, it's very nice to see you. Thanks for coming in. I don't know. We have to be kind of easy on ourselves. Okay. Craig, Deborah, you said last time that longitude and latitude of date of birth would give you the energy of that area, but would it give you the energy from that time or now? It would be, we have to claim. So here's the deal. This is how I understand it, and you guys can take it or leave it. We become born when we have an exact match with our mother. So the energy, we get to know each other. Your little spirit is in and out of fetus and getting to know everybody, and then things are born. The same thing has to happen when we move into the city's elements. But understand that your mother has been most likely been sitting in the area's elements and energy for quite some time, and she's used to adjusting and everything. So you had a little taste of that latitude and longitude through your mother before you're born. That's how I see it. I don't know. How do you feel about it, Craig? You've been thinking about this a while. Marby. Yes, me too. I liked my friends too. Kim B, while driving on a country road yesterday, a beaver ran across the road in front of me. It was the first beaver sighting for me. Well, that must mean something. Did you go on Google and say, what does it mean on a spiritual level? I'd like to know. Amy, I have you start, my dear. Carolyn Booker, are you feeling any better, sweetheart? Says, gonna visit LA. Awesome. It's a great place. Is it just a new energy in LA? I remember being there. I'm in San Diego, just south of that. And once you get into LA, it's almost like, I don't know, it's a different buzz, and some of it's kind of mean spirited because everybody's trying to one up. It's a city of great possibilities for fame and fortune, and so there's that energy I pick up sometimes. Hypnicity. Yes, I have you starred, dear. So I've got 7 starred. We're a couple minutes to go. I'm going to bring in our Kaylee. Hi, Kaylee.
Hi, how is everyone?
Yay, yay. Diamond's here. This is great. Diamond, for those of you just popping in, we're going to go right into messages, and because I have to stop this right at a certain time. And what about you, Kaylee? How are you?
I am slightly more occupied with getting things accomplished than I have been in a while, and I'm getting to work out a little bit because I'm doing fencing and things like that, as in building fences, not fencing. And I don't know what else to say. Thank goodness I get to help somebody in the neighborhood during the week. That gives me some energy for the weekend to work on fencing and demolishing and a few other things. So very occupied.
Taking down and building up. Yeah, that's
Mhm.
spring for you. That's spring for you, for
Indeed.
sure. Well, I don't know if you're ready to jump right in. We could do that since I'm going to have to sign off a couple minutes early. Let's start.
I thank the Holy Spirit. I am appreciating that the guidance is coming today through I am. If you're familiar with the Old Testament, I am is one of the names by which the divine God is introduced. And we thank I am for being responsible for everything today. Woohoo! That's news. Hi, Marby. Marby says, may I have a message from the Holy Spirit, please? Thank you. I guess I am going to always ask the Holy Spirit and thank the Holy Spirit. Holy Spirit, do we have a message from Marby? A lighter feeling is coming. It kind of goes up, 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 and then it comes to a little bit of a plateau. And as we come to that plateau, what we want to do is kind of gaze ahead and notice that we don't have a descent. We don't have like a chasm that follows that. It's like the plateau starts a noticeable slight incline, and we get to become aware of it like we're going to a heavenly feeling. Like I get to get a little bit more excited, a little bit more joyous. It doesn't happen to be the heaven. You're not jumping that way, at least not right now. But we do thank you for noticing that what we are kind of caring about is that you get to feel a little bit more of the consciousness of ascension, which is something that everybody is somehow involved in, whether they're conscious of it today or not. And it sort of helps to notice that when you want to think about it, say, I thank the Holy Spirit for allowing me to maintain this progression, this comfortable type of ascending energy. And I want to give you a blessing with this. Allow yourself to come to an understanding that you do not really have to care a whole lot more about beings that have dragged you down. It's not that we don't still love, it's that we also are aware of the comprehension of the creator of I am, is that that being does take care of all of us. And when we get caught up with the concept that we're entirely responsible for doing for someone else, it isn't exactly like we're trying to take the reins away from that authority. It's that we're giving ourselves a lot more hassle than we need to. So allowing yourself to maybe pass off some of that feeling, some of the energy of obligation is not a harmful thing. It's not a hurting idea. It's something that you can embrace, you can shelter within. And I do thank the Holy Spirit, and I am. Hi, Craig. Craig says, Clara had me doing some deep, deep shadow work, cleansing and healing. Is Clara pleased? And any advice? I'm trying my best to protect our energies. I hope you're here in the chat because I'd really like to understand if you're feeling a particular energy coming towards you, if there's something that you're wanting to protect yourself from. I want to take just I see you're in the chat. If you don't mind sharing maybe a little insight, I see you said, yes, I am. If you'd share the insight of what you're perceiving, what your perception is, because we're always going to have a kind of a kind of certain clear understanding. When someone has a comprehension of something, we want to operate a little bit more clearly with that comprehension than bringing in a whole new dimension for you to consider. So if you could explain just a little bit of what it is you feel like protecting the two of you from, I'd really thank you for that. And I do ask the Holy Spirit, we do actually want to give you a moment to do that. So I care enough about Deborah's schedule to ask Deborah, can we do the the following question while we hear back from Craig? Hi, SR. SR says, Kaylee, can you give me an update on P and his thoughts? It has been a while since we have spoke. I thank the Holy Spirit, and I do thank I Am for helping us to understand better about P at this time. He's clearly giving you a reason to question his intentions. His ideas feel a little bit baseless in some way. Almost like he's kind of given himself an idea about something that doesn't have a foundation in the fruitful dialogue that you've shared with him. To accept him as he is a task that you will likely have to accomplish. I do want to acknowledge that he doesn't always seem like he has a whole lot of approval left for giving to anyone. I don't know exactly what that frame of reference is from. I do thank you for realizing he's sort of giving me a feeling of, my brow is furrowing. I feel like I want to go deep into a deep thinky mode. And it's a serious thinking. And it's not necessarily feeling light and comforting and like we can have a nice feeling of flow and energy just yet with someone. I do want to ask, is there something else I can find out that is of benefit to SR? I thank the Holy Spirit. All right, he's giving a feeling here, and I'm not really, oh, wow. Oh, wow. That's so funny. I just saw an image of him, and I saw him with a cake, like a big cake. And I was thinking, what on earth is he doing? Is he presenting this? Is this like a gift? And then all of a sudden in this image, he gobbles up the cake all by himself. And I don't understand exactly what that means, except for it's not exactly the most flattering energy. It sort of feels almost like he's somebody who wants to keep his cake for himself. And I don't notice if he's going through a phase right now or if he's just having a feeling of a little bit of self attention. I would give you that today is not a good time to think about him, to think of him in a loving way. Today is a time to allow yourself to kind of process that he's resisting a kindness and a care. So let him. If he wants to sit there and gobble up the cake all by himself, he'll feel it later. Let him understand a little bit less feeling heading in. Where you put feelings out there, trust that they are received, and let yourself put out feelings that are a little more authentic to how you really feel. And don't frustrate yourself with thinking that he might feel that I'm unhappy and then he might get upset with me. He's already behaving like he doesn't have enough to give. Let him understand there's a response to that. You have a reason to allow him to notice that. And I do thank the Holy Spirit, and I ask the guidance of the Holy Spirit to help you out throughout understanding the next good idea.
Hi. All right.
Hi.
Great. Let me move into something here with Craig because he did respond. I want to remind you. So this is the original. Doing some deep shadow work, cleansing and healing. Is Clara pleased? And does she have any advice? I'm trying my best to protect our energies. And he did say certain films, TV, some people I stay away from. If I sense it is negative, I stay away and focused on the positive. I try my best to eat, sleep, and keep myself in good physical condition and keep up with doctor's advice too. Let me see if there's anything more. There is more. I also let Clara know that she's a better healer. Holy Spirit's help with, I don't know how to interpret that, but there we are.
Well, I thank you so much for, again, having such an interesting and dynamic interaction in the spiritual form, in the spiritual realm. There's a reason to acknowledge that when the part of the question that said, is she pleased with me? Oh, I got the sweetest, cutest image of her. She was all glowy light when she did this, but it was her, and she was sort of wrapping her arms around you. And towards that, it was sort of feeling as if her light is coming from a different source than you maybe are thinking of. It isn't simply that she's activating a response in you, it's that she is actually a divine agent. She is helping you, and she's caring clearly about your well being. And I feel like she notices it as there's a bit of a purpose ahead. And I notice I'm getting an image I've sort of felt before for you, Craig, of something to do with a mountain, coming up a mountain. And I did notice it as if it was like a bit of a retreat or a hideaway or a place to go and have a time to ponder and reflect on some things of importance to you, maybe to us, to people. And we noticed it a lot like her feeling is pleased that you would care to shelter's not quite the word, to take a concern, an interest in what you're allowing into your mind. I don't know why, but it's something I was tremendously fascinated about on my journey to, I thank the Holy Spirit, to ascension. How much we're influenced without even noticing it. There is so much behind the simplest advertisement that is actually structured to subliminally influence us and manipulate us. And when we start to take a care about it, it makes a tremendous improvement. I think you're actually really on a good track. I thank the Holy Spirit. Let me just ask like this. Is Clara very pleased with how Craig is doing? Why, yes. That is a yes. Are there any further inquiries? We're done with the pendulum. I thank you so much. I feel like you're doing a good idea, and I want to present to you just one thought. Allow yourself to tune into anything that lets you understand why you want to avoid something. It might start to form the framework of a worldview or a world understanding, comprehension that you can share with others along your path. I thank you so much. And I thank the Holy Spirit. And I am.
All right. That was great. So I had two. She added an extra one, which was interesting. So Kimby wanted to change it too. And I like this one because I've been working with the Akashic Records all week long, doing soul realignments and just really enjoying it. It says, I would like to change the question to an Akashic reading if Kaylee does.
I think there's probably a good reason for that.
Yeah.
I thank the Holy Spirit, and I am. I'm just asking if your soul is asking for assistance of the kind that we provide in the Akashic Records, and I'm getting a yes. And I need to know right quick if this is something that we would look at, not that perspective. Okay. Then it's going to be one of the clearer understandings, illusion, in the emotional body. We're not locating this at a particular chakra. So it's basically something happening in your inner child self. And it's an illusion, which means it's an idea or belief that is kind of pervasive in society. It is not, however, something that from the spirit level, from the soul level, you care to keep as true. Man, I just had a feeling about this. What's crazy is this illusion, I am encountering this everywhere, everywhere, in any area of my life where I get an opportunity to do any type of clearing work for people. This illusion just decided it needs to be resolved, I think, in a big way. It is the illusion, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Now, when we think about that, that's like put a silver lining on every dark cloud, right? It's to make us feel better if we're going to go through hardship. The only thing is, we allow ourselves to start to feel when we reflect a lot on our lives and we reflect to the place where we're coming up and seeing, like, I didn't have to experience it quite like that. I think what we're doing is we're waking up, Kim. We're waking up. When we're not as awake, we're still operating kind of with dream assumptions of what life has to be. And when we have a history that's kind of cared enough to show us, oh, you can always get something good out of something bad, then we're going to still be pre-programmed to presume we get to experience something not pleasant, but yeah, we'll get something good out of it. We're sort of looking at like bad things happening is normal. We want to share that lightly enough. This illusion is so prevalent in our society that we have a real hard time untangling from the tendrils of it. You want to let yourself start to reject it. And I am asking I am how Kim B can accomplish this. Where we want to start is the origin of injury. Allow yourself to notice it became a concern in a way that didn't have to linger. I will let myself acknowledge that all I really wanted to do was come into this life in a way that would bring me to the point of awakening, of allowing myself to notice everything in the past was my pre life. Everything in the past was my shaping me into someone who at this time is almost there, almost ready to wake up. And when we wake up, all this stuff starts to become clearer and clearer that we don't have to be subjects to the reality we're in. We are rather more thankful to the Holy Spirit for putting it in the best way. Think of it like I do not want to continue to experience hardship in order to get better. I will instead decide I am now choosing a path of alignment with where I am consciously concerned with how much pleasure also can improve me. And let it become even just something you give yourself a little hint about daily. I'm going to have a great experience that's actually going to improve me. It's not going to be, well, I had that, now off to something hard again. It's going to be, I let a great experience happen. It actually improves me. And the next following day, I'll have another great experience that also actually improves me. And begin to make that a mantra. I'm going to improve from a good thing today. And I thank you so much. Let me just ask if there was anything else at soul level that we wanted to address right now. And the answer is no. And I do ask the Holy Spirit to guide you out of the illusion that has not been in your highest good and assist you in replacing it with something that is much more beneficial and a blessing to you, Kim. I thank the Holy Spirit and I am. Hello, Emily. Emily says, I've been under a great deal of stress trying to test out of a chemistry class before I leave for the summer. Will I succeed? Would appreciate any healing or guidance that would assist. All right, nothing in the Akashic to address right there. I ask the Holy Spirit. I like the idea that we can allow you to notice a little bit of a purpose here. You're allowing yourself now to set the intention is you do succeed. This is the intention. Now, having that in your mind, clearly allow yourself right now, see it in your mind. I am noticing that feeling of achievement and success. I am noticing having passed out of the class. I am testing out of the class. I am noticing that I feel like it is behind me and it is not a stressor anymore. I am noticing that feeling. Now, the intention is placed, and now I thank the Holy Spirit. We do ask the guidance of the Holy Spirit here. Do we have anything blocking or preventing that clear intention? We do. And align to what the clarity is. Peaceful understanding is not really in you just yet. Let me get to it. I thank the Holy Spirit. It is a reason to notice one thing. If you're present, Emily, would you mind giving approval? I do think I want to look in the Akashic right quick. I'm getting a little bit of cross feed. I see you there. Just approval to look in and see if there is a specific block or restriction. Thank you so much. I do have a request for assistance. There's an illusion again. Illusions are so frustrating until you get a grip on how easy they can be to let go of. Just notice that an illusion is something that you've kind of bought into, that society believes, that you don't have to believe. It's something that you're going to allow yourself to let go of. And it's in the emotional body. Think of it like it's sort of working unconsciously against your best interests. Let me just run through. I have just such a strong feeling. It's the same thing. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger. That's about thinking, believing in your heart that you're not aligned to an effortless achievement. Feel this out. All right. I thank the Holy Spirit. I'm concerning myself with this. Right now, I have a mental image of you at a desk. For some reason, the desk has these very tall posts. It's like you're posted at a desk, and you're bent over something, and you look like you're studying hard. I greatly approve of allowing yourself to give yourself a different vantage point to intake any information that you actually require. I feel like allowing yourself to notice it in a natural setting, for some reason, is going to kick into a very interesting high gear. And I don't know exactly why, but it's an intuitive feeling of connecting with the material, almost like you can look around you and notice some of it operating in your life around you in the natural world. And I don't want to put you in a predicament if there's not a way that you can easily just go to where you feel most safe and comfortable and enjoying the world to do this. Allow yourself to put up a screensaver on your computer, or allow yourself to have some images around you, beautiful calendar pictures, something that reminds you this stuff is actually connecting with a life I approve of. And allow yourself to feel, I want to notice this actually harmonizes with a belief system I can enjoy. And don't fret about it. It is, I thank the Holy Spirit. How I want to put it is, don't struggle anymore. Pull this struggle from your mind. I'm going to do it. I thank the Holy Spirit. We're going to do it like this. I let you know I have one little way to do this. I pull the illusion of what doesn't kill you makes you stronger from my mind, and from my mind and Emily's mind. And while we're at it, from my mind and Kim B's mind. And we'll notice what we do after this is we find out it's actually not a hardship journey that we came here to enjoy and to embrace. Now, I do allow, are we worried about, I thank you so much. You will do fine. You will do just fine. I thank the Holy Spirit. Hi, Carolyn. Carolyn says, when will I get better? When will get, you're tired of having, I assume that is the name of a syndrome of some kind that you're experiencing, and you want to know when you will get better and will you get better. I do thank the Holy Spirit. I ask the Holy Spirit to guide. I ask I am to see what is happening with Carolyn. I feel a concern that is sort of trying to shelter my heart a little bit. So I'm going to ask and thank the Holy Spirit for guiding me. We want to notice that the fear that we're feeling is not going to actually help a whole lot. So what we want is a little bit more of a sense of empowerment. And I do ask the Holy Spirit, do we have a method to assist with the empowerment? Carolyn, if you're present, I may just have to ask all of y'all if you want to give approval to access your Akashic Record. I think we're in a little bit of an Akashic Record day. And Carolyn, I notice that what I want to find for you is a little hint of some ability you have that you can grasp and that you can make awareness in yourself of how to tackle something that you didn't want to have to tackle, but you're going to get rid of the problem. You're going to get rid of it. So if you are capable of giving your approval, I'd love to receive that. And I do notice that I want to thank you so much. All right, I ask the Holy Spirit to guide. We have a request for assistance. Thank you, Holy Spirit. Thank the Holy Spirit. I ask this, is this the accurate illusion? Almost so much of what we're experiencing these days comes from subconscious beliefs that we have. There's an illusion that essentially I think I'll put it in the Holy Spirit's hands. There was some reason to acknowledge that you had a disease that was distressing you. We want to clear your mind and clear your heart. And there's a conscience level attachment as well. We want to take care of this and arrive at an understanding that gives you assistance. Clearly, you have been experiencing a struggle that causes you to feel as if you're suffering. We want to allow that the suffering comes away from you. We ask only that you allow yourself to see a purpose in serving the light, and we do this by asking you to say, every single time I accomplish a reason to help somebody and do something, I thank the Holy Spirit, and do something for the light, every single time I notice an improvement. And it may be a particularly interesting exercise to notice this. And I do feel as though this is actually something that is about an exchange of energy that's a little bit higher over our heads than we do find in the Akashic. I want to admit, I didn't notice this coming forward in the Akashic. This is straight through the Holy Spirit. We do ask you to notice that this is something that believably will give you a hand better and greater than any clearing that Kaylee can accomplish here. And it isn't anything to do with how much you have done in the past. It isn't about that. It's about, I clearly now link in my mind. Carolyn, am linking in my mind. I am doing a good thing. I am receiving a good thing. You're putting these together and make the path very clear and straightforward. I do not question it. I simply do it. And I put in my mind that there's going to be an opportunity to give a hand that you don't even, I thank the Holy Spirit, you don't even remember asking about it, but there it is. It's an opportunity to give a hand. And notice how you get a feeling about it. And then you take care of what it is you have an opportunity to take care of. And then I think you'll notice an instant assistance to what you've been experiencing. So essentially, you're getting an active role, an active participatory role, and getting to help align with the spiritual cleansing that you're seeking. And I do ask you to give us all a blessing of an update a little bit down the line, or a little bit soon. And I thank the Holy Spirit, and I am. Hello, Amy. Amy says, any messages for me today? I ask the Holy Spirit, do we have any messages for Amy at this time? Oh, I get to go to a visual realm. All right, I'm seeing beautiful sky with a puffy white cloud. I'm aligning to see what is helpful for Amy. There is a man walking on the cloud who's wearing a crown. He is a kingly figure. He's allowing you to grasp that he's asking you to notice him. He seems quite, I think he seems almost a little bit shy to care if you're paying a lot of attention in his direction. He's feeling, simply put, like he cares a whole lot and he wants to notice that you care a whole lot. He's feeling like he can reach his hand all the way down and give you a nudge. I'm seeing something kind of interesting. It's a kind of guidance that becomes kind of a way to live, where you actively are engaged with, what's the word? I am. You're actively engaged with I am to such an extent that you actually get to feel like a physical touch. And I know he's giving a hint like, acknowledge him. And then you'll notice this thing happen where you're going somewhere and then you feel this physical touch and it's going to turn your attention somewhere. And you're going to turn and you're going to look and you're going to notice something. And it might be something that you particularly wanted. I thank the Holy Spirit. How I asked for this, I asked to not have to use a pendulum. And I did notice that there was a big experience that I'm not wishing on anybody. I wouldn't put it in you to have that kind of experience. But I did at some point come to recognize that there was actually a presence that would touch my face and it would direct my attention in a certain direction, in a certain clear way that was kind of hard to ignore. And what I found was if I wanted something and I kind of asked the Holy Spirit or I asked the Holy Spirit for it, I would think, oh, but I can't have it. It's too much. It's too hard to find, whatever. And then I'd suddenly find myself somewhere and I'd get that little touch and I'd look over and there's the thing. It's right there. So I think you're going to have a fun time to allow yourself to notice this. Think of it like, I know who that heavenly guy is. I know who that heavenly king is. I want to give him an opportunity to notice that I appreciate him and what he wants to help me with. and then give yourself a hand enjoying that experience.
That's lovely.
Mhm.
I just want to say that when you asked for a blanket permission,
Yes, everybody did.
I got a lot of yeses. So let's just
Yay!
assume that everyone who has a question, if the Akasha says
Okay.
hey me, then that's what we do. Okay.
For the record, Amy, I did get that we don't have a reason to look into your Akashic right now.
Yes. Right. And then we have our sweet hypnicity.
Hi, Hypnicity. So, hello, she says. I could use some encouragement. My 9-year-old step grandson is quite the challenge for me. I ask the Holy Spirit to ground us in a little bit of clarity about how soon he becomes clearer and easier to comprehend. 11, age 11. Okay. Is that going to help right now? It'll help to think of it like this. He's coming around. He does kind of care a lot about how soon he gets a maybe understanding of a feeling of embracing family in a newer light. I think there's something kind of interesting there. There's a feeling like there's a place where he actually starts to put rebellion where it benefits you. And I notice that what we're thinking about is he kind of starts to, he moved in yeah, I get you, has very little discipline. I notice that we're going to let that rebellion shift so that you actually find he's rebelling somewhere else. And then you get to be kind of the person, the one he gets to go to be like, oh, help me, I rebelled over there and I got in some trouble. And I do thank you for realizing that does seem like it's going to be a good idea to engage with in a fun way, a fun, light way at that point. Now we're asking about right now. And I do ask the Holy Spirit. We do have a little bit to look at Akashic wise there. Is there a request for assistance? There is. Is it in him? Is it in her? All right, hypnicity. I'm receiving there's some chakra imbalance that is probably not allowing you to enjoy the experience of having him there as much as you're capable of. I'm going to see which chakras. How many chakras is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, oh boy, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's basically we're looking at it a little bit unclearly. Let me share in my mind how to see this. Right here, throat chakra. I relate to him a little bit. He's dealt with a bunch in his young life. His mom is active alcoholic. Your stepson is doing the best he can. I thank the Holy Spirit with I am. The reason that you're understanding this is a little bit hard to handle is you're expressing a light idea where you could be expressing a little bit of a better feeling of I am structuring your life. I am structuring it so that you have a good foundation to grow from. I thank you so much for understanding. You may notice you become increasingly dear to him. You want to begin with noticing how to word things a little bit better in alignment with what will have an effect, an impact. And I do notice he won't notice it's for him yet. He will get a pickup a little bit further on where he does start to adjust and to become sweeter. And it does seem like it's a process. I do wish we could snap our fingers and cause him to just suddenly become a caring, sweet young kid. But we do notice that he has some growing around a hurt to accomplish. I thank the Holy Spirit. I don't need to explain all the details about this, but I did have a little glimpse of something astrological that relates to a wound that becomes a place of strength and healing. He does have something though that is, it's not in him to know how to accomplish over being beyond it yet. So what you can give him is a grounded, secure feeling, like really clear understanding of how to feel safe and trusting. There is no reason to acknowledge any punishment is ever without a good outcome. For instance, like every single time he has anything that he's kind of caught doing or a little bit in trouble for, let him notice that once things are out in the open, once things have been resolved, there's some way a good feeling comes from it. like, okay, now thankfully we got that we've got that understood now. Now we're going to have an opportunity to do something that we haven't done before. 5, 10, 20, 20. I do ask the Holy Spirit, do we want to have just a moment to see that? Hold on. Hypnicity, do you know where he was born and ideally the time of birth?
She changed the date, my dear,
Okay.
to 5/10/2015.
I thought that was a little bit off. 5,
Seattle,
2015.
Seattle, Washington.
We wouldn't know what time, would we?
Mid-morning, she said.
Put him about 9 a.m. We're just going to see if there's something
Okay.
particularly much. I don't know exactly why this came up in my mind to look at, but I was seeing Chiron, the wounded healer, in my mind. And Chiron is situated in a very close alignment to his sun, his self identity. It's not actually in a bad alignment. It shows me that there's a great healer in him. He may have to do his own healing or receive the healing in order to achieve that. I wanted to notice what Chiron is actively engaged with. Nothing is standing out for why Chiron was coming to mind. I think it was along the lines of the wound that he has experienced is definitely going to need some address. And it needs address that basically gently counteracts, contradicts how he presumed reality was going to be. I'm stepping away from the astrology now because it didn't immediately jump out with enough clarity for me. Um, I would think of it like identify in your heart where he has gotten hindered by the experiences with his mom or by any experiences that you're aware of that have influenced him to have a harder grasp on structure and behaving well. Identify them and then simply put in your mind and heart and in your confidence. I have a grasp that the Holy Spirit hears me and answers me. I'm asking the Holy Spirit how to alleviate the injury, the hurt that was caused by this particular distress. And notice you'll have a little stack of them, but not so great a stack, not so hard to cover. And then let yourself see I have the ability, I have the ability to respond in a way that's going to make him feel grounded safely in a home of structure and peace and care for his happiness. And notice that I have this feeling about something to do with attention to him has been a really spotty thing. So there's attention that has been, sometimes we're seeking the attention, and then there's that energy of kind of wishing we could avoid the attention. And I notice that there's this sort of energy of a back and a forth with him that I would ask you to maybe counteract with a balanced feeling that there is no exchange that he ever goes away from that he doesn't have an understanding that you love him. His maternal grandma rescues him from any responsibility. He doesn't want to go to school. She picks him up. It's tough because I'm just grandpa's wife. You can do what you're capable of accomplishing. Why I feel like you're going to end up becoming someone that he interests himself in a couple of years. I think you're going to give him kind of a little dose of an antidote. And it isn't up to you to continuously monitor and make sure no new problems emerge. What you can do is prepare yourself, prepare your mind for I don't know how, except it's through the Holy Spirit, but the Holy Spirit is going to provide me each time I see this kid. I've got a little dose of the antidote. It might be just a handful of words I say, it might be a gesture, it might be a particular expression I give him, or something I teach him. But I'm going to give him just a little dose of that antidote. And I thank the Holy Spirit for it. And I notice that it's gradual, but it is successful. Just give it a little trust and time. And I do thank the Holy Spirit, and I thank you for your question. And I think I am. Hi, Monica. Monica says, why does my son-in-law Armando keep getting cancer? This is his third time. Thank you. I ask the Holy Spirit to guide, and I thank I am for some clarity. I don't understand if this is a particular, I'm hearing something about thyroid, and I don't notice if it has something to do with his physical concern right now or if it's contributing to it. I do ask the Holy Spirit, do we have any grounded feeling that we can give that would be of assistance here? Well, grounded in a certain way. I'm literally seeing the shore of the ocean. I'm noticing wave after wave. I'm kind of relating it to how you're expressing it seems to keep coming back. I'm asking, what can we do about this? Interest. This is going to get a little bit esoteric. It's going to get a little bit, it's going to feel a little bit strange. The framework I'm referencing is essentially along the lines of something in his emotions contributes to the recurrence. Now, I don't know why thyroid came up. It could be that it connects with something to do with how the emotions impact the thyroid, impacts the condition or the experience of the illness coming up again and again. But we want to notice that I was seeing the ocean and I was seeing that recurrence of waves. And then I asked, what do we do about it? And the image that came to mind was withdraw that ocean. Water to me in the image world that I enjoy, water represents feelings, emotions. Withdrawing the feelings actually allows somebody to come to a different place in their mind and to structure their mind for a different purpose. There is a reason to notice. I can't notice how. I thank the Holy Spirit. I think he's got a thyroid condition that you want to look into. If he hasn't already experienced something to do with that, go ahead and take care of that. I don't know why I wanted to go to the other realm for that. That's Kaylee attempting to amplify something. Just notice that we're getting the word thyroid, and that's the only thing that I can give you with a little bit more clarity than I was trying and wandering in picture area. I thank the Holy Spirit, and I am. Hi, Kelly. Kelly says, well, my undiagnosed extremity and facial nerve numbness, tingling, and pain, I have resorted to spirit and what has been named earthing. I thank the Holy Spirit and I ask the guidance of the Holy Spirit and the great I am. I wonder if I'm reaching in the right direction when I say the same type of energy that I was just telling myself not to do for the last question is where I'm immediately drawn to do right now. Thank you, Holy Spirit. We're going to look at it a little bit from a perspective where I'm actually going to view you, and I'm viewing as if you're a kind of a drawing of yourself. And I'm looking and I'm watching and I'm watching. Oh, wow, that actually looks. It looks like sparkles, like a sparkler going off. Where I assume that where I imagine there's some kind of pain or numbness. And ask the Holy Spirit how to help. Do an idea in your mind that a clearing is actually a pretty good feeling. And we want to notice what kind of clearing we're looking at. I feel like a serious realignment is probably not the big point for you. I feel like the clearing that you're looking at is something of a heart feeling that kind of comes up as a scared idea that I can't combat this, as if, ooh, there's this feeling that comes up of a doubt when we're actually addressing things through the spiritual path. We sometimes are struggling with how much we assume science is going to be able to accommodate the needs that we have somehow better. Now, I feel like reminding us all, there was a time I had this terrible tooth pain and I was doing things that I thought would take care of it, and nothing did until I finally asked Jesus, God, and Holy Spirit, those three, Jesus, God, and Holy Spirit, please take away my tooth pain. And it went away immediately and it never came back. Now, I want to ask you to notice that I particularly much do recommend that when you have something that is undiagnosed, do see what you can do to get it diagnosed. Whatever you're capable of accomplishing to find out a diagnosis is a really smart idea. Now, that said, You can also accommodate the spiritual aspect of your being by asking yourself to notice that when you ask, Dear God, Jesus, and the Holy Spirit, do you please have an ability to give me some kind of test, MRIs, and nothing? Ask them, do you have the ability to give me some kind of relief from this experience? What you will observe is that there is a change. How much you feel that change is going to probably increase the more you experience just the littlest bit of it. You'll allow yourself to notice it's okay, it's safe to let myself experience more of it. I do notice that we have a real concern when something is just not getting diagnosed. I am a little bit frustrated and struggling with that. I do thank the Holy Spirit, and I ask the guidance of the Spirit again. Go into the heart and ask in your heart, do we have a path to healing already available? Oh, wow, yeah. It's a curve around a feeling in your heart. The feeling in your heart is sort of dragging you down. That feeling feels like it is a dark fear energy. How do we? I thank the Holy Spirit. I pull the fear from my mind and from my mind and Kelly's mind. I pull the question from my mind and from my mind and Kelly's mind. I ask the healing of the Holy Spirit to guide Kelly and to show her how to improve her circumstances markedly soon. And I thank the Holy Spirit for all the guidance. And we do ask now that we put healed in our mind and Kelly's mind. And notice what we want to say is, I'm not asking. I put healing in my mind and Kelly's mind. I put comfortable in my mind and Kelly's mind. I put improvement in my mind and Kelly's mind. Notice every day. You want to notice a little bit of a change and pretend no more. Just let yourself actually observe it and feel like, oh, okay. Almost like it's no big deal. Acknowledge it is a big deal once you've gone through it. But for now, in a moment, you're just going to say, no big deal. And then you're going to notice a little something and let it begin that way. And I thank the Holy Spirit. And I am.
I got a little something to say about that. I look at I have chronic pain, but when I tweak my hip, and then and then I was laying down as I was waking up, I thought, I'm out of pain. I'm completely comfortable. And so I highlighted that, and prayed on that. But I did ask the Holy Spirit, if you can't take this problem away, can you have my body accept it for normal so it doesn't hurt anymore?
Interesting.
Because as we age, I'm a minute older than a lot of people here. And as we age, we do have some pain. So that's how that's how I would handle it. But chronic pain, I don't have it all the time, and that's like an oxymoron, because chronic means you have it all the time. But boy, when it comes and it's relentless, God bless you. God bless you all.
I observed, I had a hard time imagining something to do with that, but I realized that it is hard to accept that we're in a realm that's becoming increasingly miraculous until we permit the miracles to happen. It's not always going to be that we have to accustom ourselves to suffering, to experiencing things and just accepting them. And I do notice it because I personally experienced it. It isn't that I want to refute that it's a good idea a lot of times to allow yourself to accept a hurt. But when you're ready, it's also a good idea to allow yourself to accept a miracle and the blessing of the Creator doing something. So I do hope that we get to evaluate it less and see something really fun soon with Kelly. And I do thank the Holy Spirit. And I ask also, can I have just a second to say, Karen Doyle, I received your gift this week. I am so sorry that I did not get to you by email. It has been the craziest, most hectic week. But darling, you are a blessing. And I thank you, thank you, thank you.
Awesome. And while I'm on, just want to remind everyone that I need to sign off right at the top of the hour. But I want to acknowledge Carolyn. Thank you for getting my cards. And I will teach you how to use them. And I would like to invite you into anybody who buys the cards and tell me about it, or if you want to have the video course after you buy the deck, just let me know, and then I'll give you the video course, and then you can come into the members only, and we'll get you up and going on that. I'm sure it's going to be easy for you. Also, Craig, thank you so much for the donation. Appreciate that. And Kim B says, think positively. She thank you for the message. Let me see. I've got everybody else. Now, again, Gail, you said you need a specific message. I don't exactly know what that means, but Mary Starshine is up right now, and I believe that might be all that we can do today, but we will be here next week. So here we are, my dear.
Mary Starshine, what a fantastic name. May you have a message. She wants to know, may I have a message from Spirit, please? I do ask the Holy Spirit to guide, and I think I am. I'm noticing the sixth chakra, the third eye. It is bright, bright, bright. It is glowing bright blue. It is asking us to trust something coming through for you. I'm seeing a landscape, but it's a landscape that doesn't look like it's from here. Wow, this is interesting. It's like I thank the Holy Spirit. I want to put in your mind, I didn't come here noticing that we were all going to eventually realize we came from somewhere else, but we're realizing some of that a lot lately. And I'm observing a planet of, I think, of origin for you. What's kind of interesting is how fun it is. It's got this feeling of a lighter idea than we've experienced a lot of times here on the what we call planet Earth. And we wanted to notice why we're going to visit there. A light exists still in you that resides trustingly from the world that you originated in. It is something more fun and freeing than you can even thank the Holy Spirit for today yet, to recognize where you actually originated from. I do not notice why the planet is coming up. It's sort of like a reason. Is it? No, it's not quite there. It's sort of a reason just to remember at the root of your being, at the foundation of your origination, is a home that feels buoyant, that feels purposefully joyful, and it feels like it didn't downgrade. It didn't lower, it didn't go into a realm where our only avenue to improve or progress was feeling like it had to be through hardship. And I don't know when you originated there. You might have been there for a very long time. You might have arrived after a lot of stuff had been resolved and the vibration was already quite high. But you want to be thankful to notice that this seed is in your heart. It's in your whole being. Now, as far as why the third eye is coming forward, we want you to recognize and acknowledge that trusting the authenticity of the truth in you is about being a little bit better prepared to answer other people with, I am very comfortable being exactly who I am. I am quite comfortable noticing that I am quite original and I am a creation of my own, and I am so happy and thankful to be that. Realize and recognize, acknowledge in your whole self, I came here to help. I came here to be someone different, and I do enjoy being someone different. And I believe you'll have a whole lot to offer when you notice there's a certain tipping point that happens, and you'll kind of acknowledge in yourself, now it's the time. I get to shine even more. I get to actually put it out there. And I thank you for being present today. I want to remember your name, and I thank you for coming back sometime and telling us a little bit about what's going on.
I have to apologize. I was looking at the wrong clock. I still have 10 minutes. So, sorry to make everybody crazy. That's kind of who I am. Part of my charm. There we are.
Well, hi, Gamel. I thank the Holy Spirit, and I ask the Holy Spirit to give a specific message for Gamel right now. I am answering a question with yes and also do not care anymore, and also feel as though you want to answer for yourself whether or not this is going to be your favorite way to do things. The blessing is we actually get a lot a gift to give you when you allow yourself to express a little bit more clearly what it is you're hoping to achieve. We ask you only this: do you want to see if there's a little bit more that we can offer you, if we have a little more context? And if so, share it in the chat. If we are able to, we'll certainly address it. I gave you the clarity that I was given, which was the simple answer, straightforward and ahead. And I want you to notice that we do care a lot about how you come into this program, this visitation, with a lot of very clearly understanding deep stuff ideas. I'm quite interested in hearing what it is you have to say. So do believe that you are maybe more welcome here than you notice. And I thank you so much for arriving here today. And I thank the Holy Spirit. Hi, Diamond. Diamond says, could I get a quick message if my stomach gallbladder issue will be okay till I can afford to have it all looked at and fixed? My heart is noticing there's something today, the energy of today, it seems to have a very significant physical component, and I'm not entirely sure why, but it's been kind of an interesting thing to note throughout the day. I thank the Holy Spirit, and we ask for Diamond. Do we have any questions? Of course you'll be okay. We love you. Of course you'll be okay. We do want to thank you for permission. I'll ask in the Akashic. Do we locate Diamond, and do we have a request for assistance? We do. So there is something we want to address. And we're just going to see how soon we can. A belief. A genetic belief. Ooh, these are interesting. Paternal family line. About 7 generations back. Resides in your emotional body. It's got some indication of having a little more going on than you feel like you can handle. And we do occasionally notice that we sometimes rest a little bit better when we feel like we can't do something because we're hurting. And I want you to notice you give yourself approval to actually step away from feeling as though you must accomplish a lot in order to give yourself a feeling of, I really don't have to hurt in order to do that. I can guess this is kind of a confusing topic for a lot of people. We resolve to make this as clear as we can in the time that we have here. Literally everything in our physical realm is coming from a spiritual root cause. Everything. The difficulty is accepting that clearly enough that we're able to trust it and flow with that complete change of perspective to allow miraculous changes to be experienced here. So what we do in our little steps way is we hone in on where something can be comprehended in the physical sort of mind, the part of the mind that we're identifying as our physical form. We do little steps till we can go, okay, I can take this far of a step. Diamond, the step we're giving you is in your paternal family line, 7 generations back. This belief got integrated in kind of the genetic emotional line. I've got too much going on. I can't. And then it kind of turns around and it probably manifests likely throughout those generations as something comes up that hurts in order to prevent you from continuing that overexertion. So we want you to allow yourself to notice that I really do approve of rest when rest is necessary. And then give yourself a little trick of the mind is to give yourself a flash of light that you identify specifically, a certain color, like maybe purple, a specific color flash of light that is your signal. You can't keep going. Stop now. And you heed it. Whenever you observe that, you heed it. I think you might find that you can alleviate some of the distress and the discomfort, and maybe even a significant amount of it, if you allow yourself to purposefully reprogram and make yourself aware. I can align to where I'm actually just never so stressed out with so much to do that I feel like I've got to hurt myself to give myself a break. And I notice that I am using language that I sometimes tiptoe around. A lot of this is stuff that's a little hard to comprehend, but I do thank you so much for giving me an opportunity to start to open the door to some of that here, dive in today. And I thank the Holy Spirit.
Oh, wow. That was great. I like that declaration of truth. We've got Michelle here. Her husband passed away last year.
Oh, darling.
Does something come to mind?
I thank the Holy Spirit. I'm seeing sunshine. Literally, it's a sun on the horizon. I thank the Holy Spirit. I ask for the words for Michelle. You will not have to resent yourself having a good idea here soon, before very much longer. Allow yourself to remember and relinquish the desire to carry yourself in a very specific way. Remember a truth in your being about life lived fruitfully, fulfillingly. Allow yourself to recall a blessing in your soul, in your spirit, in your soul, in yourself, about how soon you may embrace a joy and a sorrow being lessened daily. That gives you a peace in your heart that you are worthy of, you deserve. And we thank you so much for coming to see us today. We do observe that we do have a feeling, almost a feeling like he's lurking somewhere close and doesn't have a, he's not meaning to distress anyone, but he's feeling like he's in observer mode in a way that is peaceful and loving, like he's in, oh wow, it's so pretty. I have this image in my mind of him like coming behind you and he's trying to shelter you from a question or a fear about something. And he's kind of just nudging, giving a feeling of almost wanting to push you forward into that light that we began with. And I think he's wanting you to get to see something a little bit more, experience something more fulfilling than you have yet let yourself since he's gone. And we thank you so much for joining us, Michelle. We love you and we want you to have a really good day,
Yeah.
a really good experience soon.
Right. Right. Oh, gosh. Thank you, everybody, for coming today. I think we worked out really well. And we'll see you next Sunday, unless unless something magical shows up and we're taken away by our alien ancestors. I know that would be a fun ride. All right. Until next week, please take care. You know that we love you. You mean the world to us. And I can't wait to see you again. Thank you so much. Love you. Bye, Kaylee.